Okay, hello everyone. It's me. Um, Sorry about the perspective, but I had to get everything in, and you guys know what I look like. So today is a little bit different. Today is April 9th, 2026, and this is also going to be the official questions video. So if you have any questions for me, put them in the comments on this video. I haven't logged in since last time, so I don't know if there's any questions on the other one, but for now, this is the official questions video. So, any questions, put them in the comments and I will answer them. And like I said last time, you don't ask any fucking questions, you don't get any fucking answers. All right. So, what also is special about today? Well, today is not the 5 year anniversary, not of the date, or not to the day, but to the date. Today's the last day of Passover. And if you don't know what the 4 glasses of wine are for, and here's my bowl of flatbread. Although I'm not eating matzah, it's Triscuits. Those are my favorite ones. And the wine, try not to knock everything over here, is Super Tuscan. Good stuff. Gets you drunk really, really well. This stuff right here is what we're going to talk about. So today, the last day of Passover. 5 years ago, this day fell on April 4th, 2021. And that was Easter Sunday. And it was the craziest day of my life. I've never been so exhilarated. I've never been so fucking terrified in all my life. And if you don't know what all this means, then look it up. Oh, and lastly, this is my namesake. These are one of my Archangel Michael candles that I pretty much perpetually have going as long as I'm in the house. And even though, again, you guys know what I look like, but I got my, black outfit on with a black tie. Very formal. And this stuff is the fruits of my labor that I have been struggling with for the last 5 years. And this has all my electronic stuff on it. It's pretty good industrial sized backup or USB, whatever they call them. So I'm just going to leave this thing running for exactly 12 minutes and talk to you guys for a while and drink my wine and eat some of my flatbread. And then once I'm done talking to you guys, I'm just going to sit here for the rest of the time and you guys can look at my chin and watch me eat flatbread and drink red wine. Now, I am commanded to drink all 4 of these cups of wine before sundown, which is 8:09 p.m. And I turned this on specifically because 5 years at exactly 3:03 p.m. If you want to Scooby-Doo figure out why, there's videos or a video where I described what happened to me 5 years ago on April 4th, 2021. So, yeah, that's about it. Other than that, we can just shoot the shit about global politics. Since it's the last day of Passover, if you guys know the story, it's when the Israelites, who I call the Hebrews, um, during the last plague, the death of the firstborn. After that, Pharaoh finally allowed all the Hebrews to go out of Egypt. Actually, he kicked them out. But for all you that know the death of the plague of the death of the firstborn, so basically, God told Moshe Rabbeinu, which is Moses, have all of the Israelites, Hebrews, smear lamb's blood over their doors, and when the destroyer comes through Egypt and kills all the Egyptians' firstborns, the destroyer will spare the firstborn of the Hebrews. So they did that, and that's exactly what happened. All of the Egyptian firstborns, including the Pharaoh himself, died, while all the Hebrew ones were saved. And I told you before, another story. After that happened, Pharaoh was like, get the fuck out. Even the other Egyptians were like, get the fuck out and take your God with you. And then they were still like, oh yeah, by the way, you gotta give us all your gold. So Moses went to the tomb of where Joseph, eldest son of Raquel, was buried, the man who prophesied the Exodus in the first place. And he grabbed his mummified remains and he brought him back to the camp. And he's like, we got to get out of here now. And the thing about it on the leavened bread was they said they had to leave Egypt so quickly that they didn't even have time to put yeast in the bread. So they had these unleavened loaves around their necks like yokes. And the Egyptians are just like pitching gold and brooches and shit. And, you know, it's hitting all these loaves of bread hanging around these Hebrews' necks. Metaphorically and literally increasing their load. And that's why in the Bible, aka the Old Testament, aka the Torah, you know, aka Exodus, aka names, that, you know, they said the Israelites, the Hebrews, walked out into that desert looking for war because, you know, they might have been a bunch of just freed slaves. Again, they were kicked out, but that unleavened dough around their necks was absolutely worthless. But everybody in the world, or in that part of the world, knew that, you know, they also had a bunch of gold too. So that gold was tasty as shit. Somebody was going to attack them, which did happen. And then Pharaoh did come after them. And you guys know the whole splitting the Red Sea story. But yeah. So that's why the last day of Passover, the 8th day, although 7th day in the land that's called Israel, I don't know why the difference there, don't at all. But again, if you want to look up the 4 cups and everything and why it's done, you know, you guys can look it up on your own. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say. Well, that took longer than I thought, 7 minutes. So I got about 5 more. No, it's coming up on 8. So 4 more minutes to eat some of my flatbread. Be protected by my namesake's candle. And drink some really good Super Tuscan. And like I said, I got roughly, sun's going down at 8 or 9 p.m. So I have roughly 5 hours to drink 4 cups of wine, which I can do. I assure you all, I will do it. So. I would comment on geopolitics, but let's be awesome. Let's be honest. Doesn't seem like anybody's protected from the destroyer these days. And even in the Western countries. I mean, how long do you think civil war in Iran, China, you know, Venezuela, Cuba? I mean, the financiers of this world have been sweeping, you know, all of these debts under the rug for the better part of a century, since World War II. And you can see now that, you know, everyone's always like, so how can like every government in the world be in debt? Well, because Putin, forgot to add Russia and the Soviets, and there's a reason why I call them Soviets and not Russians. Story for another day. But yeah, he hollowed out Russia to give him a personal fortune of billions upon billions of dollars. Same way with the Chinese. It's these large groups of, you know, wealthy, powerful people that buy or rent to buy all of your politicians of your nation states, and they just hollow out your countries until they collapse. But this time, when they all collapse at once, you'll go into anarchy, Kaiser Sose world, and let me just say about that. If there's anything I've learned about God and how the universe is structured, as hard as this is for some of you that like weapons, you gravitate to lives of weapons and violence and death because it makes you horny, sexually aroused. And sometimes you get so aroused by weapons, violence, and death that you come in your pants. That's why you guys do those jobs, because you find it sexually arousing. But for all you normal people, these people will, I guarantee they won't be wielding any, after very long judgments, they will not be wielding any weapons in the future because they won't have any fucking hands or limbs or anything to construct, let alone wield a weapon. And so my last 50 seconds here, let me just tell you, the rest of you that are somewhat normal and do have some concerns about your quasi-immortal souls, it is better to die a pious martyr than to be those fucking idiots, because they definitely will get what's coming to them in the afterlife. Just remember, I was just following orders, or I was just doing my job. It didn't fucking work for the Nazis after World War II at Nuremberg, and it doesn't work for anybody in the afterlife. You are judged by the sins that you commit as a mortal as soon as you die. All right. I will talk to you guys later, if you ask questions.